Hi everyone, and welcome to another special edition of ASQ 360, where we attempt to answer salient questions in about 360 seconds, maybe slightly a little more this time, because you know what? We are in a very, very special month, the month of love. Are you excited? Now, this is the time of the year that finds many having various ranges of pressure to find that special someone. Is it not so? To make them feel loved, okay? Well, social media has worsened the pressure. A brief walk along the streets of Instagram and Facebook leaves one's emotional appetite wet as a result of showcase of glittering, mouth-watering, and colorful gifts to loved ones. This is the time when many suddenly realize how lonely they are and they embark on an emergency search of someone. And the search make an emergency pick of the nearest available partner. And many who had some of these proposals in waiting suddenly grant their ears by this time of the year just so that they can enjoy some of the goodies that come with the season. Well, sadly, for a good number that took that path, this transaction hardly lasts. And again, a good number commit themselves to a relationship not just because of Valentine, but because they want to get rid of the lonely feeling they're experiencing. And so we come to the question for today. Will being in a relationship save me from this lonely feeling? A 2021 statistic by the cable.ng has it that 60% of married people are lonely. Knowledge of this statistic is enough for us to just conclude on what our answer is, right? Well, let me just give us a little peek into what loneliness entails. Loneliness is actually a sense of feeling disconnected, isolated, or disengaged from others. It is a feeling of being alone even when others are around. Feeling alone can mean feeling misunderstood, feeling unloved, or unwanted by your family, your friends, your peers, or loved ones. It can also literally mean you do not have anyone with whom to connect or speak with. So now the key word when it comes to the idea or the issue of loneliness is what? Connect. Psychologists identified 4 different types of loneliness. We have the intimate or emotional loneliness. We have the relational or social loneliness. We have the situational loneliness. And then we have the collective loneliness. Now, these categories of loneliness has to do with the need to connect with someone with whom you share your private ideas with, someone to share quality friendship or support with, or someone with whom to connect when you're in an entirely new location or you need to network with people with similar purposes. Now, for a person experiencing, let's say, example, emotional loneliness that has to do with connecting with someone with whom you want to share your personal ideas with. Now, regardless of how expressive that person is, if it is not well perceived or received by his partner, resulting in a connection, you find out that the person still remains lonely. And for a person seeking quality friendship and support to tackle maybe their relational loneliness, but ends up with someone who doesn't even perceive friendship in the same way, you still find out that the person still remains lonely. So you could have a fantastic friendship and an awesome network, but still feel lonely because you do not have that someone you trust enough to share your deepest fears or triumphs. And alternatively, you could also have a trusted partner and a good friendship, but you don't connect in purpose. So you can see how complicated this issue is. Now, is there hope? Is there a way out? Of course there is. For children of God, there is always a way out. Now, the way out is having a biblical perspective about relationships and love. First and foremost, God established that it is not good for the man, that is Adam, to be alone, as seen in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And his solution was, I'll make him a helper. And he brought Eve to Adam and they became one flesh. Now, if someone is to help you, well, that person may not exactly be doing the same thing, but then whatever that person will be doing will be aiding you in achieving what you are purposed or called to do. Secondly, our wrong perception about love is also a cause of loneliness in relationships. Love gives, and gives. Nothing about love as stated in scripture demands anything. Now, when I expect a kind of support in a relationship that doesn't seem to come by, and I become frustrated, thinking that the person is not the right one for me, see, that's wrong. Have I thought if my role is actually to give support rather than demand support? So imagine that I am in a relationship to give you, and you're giving me. I mean, are we not going to end up being satisfied? So it is very important that we stop expecting man or woman to fill the void that only Christ can fill in our lives. If not, we're going to experience an unsatisfying relationship. David in Psalms chapter 25 verse 16 says, he sought fulfillment from God when he said, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. Relieve me of the troubles of my heart and free me from the anguish." You see, for someone to say this, because let me tell you, this is someone who said this while he was married though. But he did not hold his wife responsible for the lack of happiness he was feeling at that time. He knew it was God that could fill his lonely heart. So being alone is different from being lonely. You can be in a relationship but still feel empty. You can also be alone yet still feel extremely happy and content. Whatever kind of loneliness you're experiencing, you only need to lay it at the feet of the Master. Cast all your cares and anxiety on him because he cares for you, as seen in 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows. God is in his holy dwelling. God sets the lonely in families. That is just Psalm 68 verse 5 and 6 that I just quoted. To the widows, to the orphans and the widowers, you need to first receive God's filling of the void created in your heart before considering another relationship. And for those who are feeling rejected and unloved, Psalm 27 verse 10 says, "Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." So whatever kind of rejection you're facing from your family, your friends, your loved ones, and your close friends, going into a relationship cannot relieve you of your loneliness, but Christ will. So connect with God, connect with other Christians. Reach out to be a blessing to others around you and see yourself filled with so much value and love that an intimate relationship comes to you as a gift and not a need. So I hope you have been blessed watching this. Please do leave a comment and join the SQ community by subscribing, liking, and sharing if you're blessed. Please do check the description box to see links from which you can study and for scripture references. Please enjoy the season and be careful to live your life with eternity in view. Thank you.